In this video, I share with you a recording that I took at my Meetup group, Meetup.com. The group is called Money, Success, Entrepreneurs and More. The Meetup itself, which is still running, is called Create Passive Income, 5 strategies for financial freedom, covering things like real estate, investing, internet marketing, social marketing, ebooks. G'day, change makers. It's Rowan here from Your Life Designs, where we inspire breakthrough to a healthier, wealthier, better version of you so you can live your life designed. I hope you get something out of this clip. If so, like, subscribe, make some comments, join the conversation. Have an awesome day. Enjoy. Thank you guys very much for coming. It shows that the rich are getting richer, and we all know how many hours people are working these days, absurd hours. A bit about me. So I really hated school, primary school, high school. I felt institutionalized the whole time. I came out, didn't know what I wanted to do, so I had a year off, and then I went in and started an engineering degree because my dad was saying, you know, it's once you do that sort of degree, it opens up more doors. So I was like, oh, okay, sure. Did the 4 years of degree, came out, still not really knowing what I wanted to do. Anyway, went into engineering and straight into this big corporate company, and within 9 months I was like, I've got to get out of here. This is not for me. So I went off traveling for 3 years, and then by the end of that I thought to myself, you know, I've grown up, I've matured a bit, I'm ready to settle down, get a job and buy a couch and stop backpacking and eat some food. And so I settled down, I got back into engineering, and again, with time, the kind of resentment for the system has built up and built up. All that last decade or so, I've been looking for different entrepreneurial ventures, looking for my path, coming up with ideas, crunching the numbers on it, seeing if it worked or not, whether it was in real estate, a drive-through coffee shop, or all sorts of different things. The core message is you do not have to settle. You have options. There are so many options in this world, particularly in this amazingly digital world. I'm just learning so much more about the power of the digital world, and man, the entrepreneurial streak is just like fireworks every day. It's so exciting. The mission of Your Life Designed is to inspire breakthrough by sharing and supporting. So this little forum, this meetup, is all about sharing. At the end, my phone number, my email's there if you want to grab a coffee and talk more about any one of them. So investing in real estate, there's 2 ways to do this. One is through cash flow investing, the other one is capital gains. Cash flow investing is where you're earning more money from it than you're spending on it. The other one is capital gains. So you buy a property generally negatively geared, and you hope that the value of the property increases more than what you've paid it off. So how much to get started? If you were to buy a property out in Penrith these days, you'd be looking at $165,000 straight up, which would cover your 20% deposit, your stamp duty, your bank fees, legal fees, all that sort of stuff. If you were to buy in somewhere where cash flow property investing is a better option, such as Waverley, which is down in Launceston in Tasmania, then you're looking at more like $42,000. If you look at Penrith, the mean house price for Penrith was $670,000. The mean price for Waverley, that top figure there, was $158,000. So Waverley is less than a quarter of the price. But look at the mean rent. In Penrith, you're getting $415 a week. In Waverley, you're getting $245 a week. So the rent is not less than a quarter. So it's all about finding the cheap properties which have still quite high rents. You don't want high vacancy rates. Let's just go straight into the pros and the cons for property investing, because that spells it out a bit. One of the beautiful things, so my wife and I bought, a couple of years ago, I was going around the neighbourhood, literally door knocking, asking if people would sell me their house, with the idea of demolishing the house to build a duplex for a profit. Around Balgowlah. I don't know why I was going around that area. I couldn't have afforded to actually have bought their house and then demolished it and built, but I've always just been of the sense that, you know, if I find the right opportunity, I'll make it work somehow. Within about 2 weeks, we'd bought the duplex, so we had to buy the whole thing, because it was on one lot, one title. So we have tenants in the top, and we live in the bottom. And if at some stage I want to strata subdivide it and sell off half, I can do that. So that's why I found it so attractive. Anyway, going through the pros and cons, it's a tangible asset. I really love tangible assets. Also, once you have your first property, it's very easy to leverage off that first property to buy more properties. There's the opportunity for double dipping, which is what my wife and I are doing in terms of having that positive cash flow and hopefully capital gains. Now, in terms of cash flow positive investing, it can be a rat race escape plan. How many of these properties do you need to escape the rat race? Heaps. Looking at the cons, you do need a stable income for a loan. If you've got a new business, you need 2 years of income from that business just to get a loan. The high barrier of entry in terms of costs. As I said, you're at the whim of the interest rates, and there can be damage and vacant property. There's tenants not paying rent. It can be a great long-term plan because hopefully your tenants are paying off the loan. So 20 or 30 years down the track, you've got your asset, it's all paid off, and then you're getting the full amount of rent. So, for a long-term strategy, it can be really powerful in that way. Number 2, investing. I'll try to fly through this even faster. Anyone who starts making some good money from other avenues should be putting it into investing, because it's better being in investments that will have a stable long-term growth rather than just in your bank account or under your pillow or whatever. One point I would like to make that I kind of got off Robert Kiyosaki is pay yourself first. So if tax went up 5%, we wouldn't die, we would pay the tax and we would survive. So why is it that we don't pull that 5% straight from our salary as soon as we get it and invest it and just set and forget that money and let it grow and let it compound year after year, so that 20 or 30 years down the track we're all of a sudden going, you know what, I'm glad I took that 5% out. Anyway, the pros: low barrier of entry. You can start with just a small amount, and it is easy to set and forget. It can be a minimal time investment, and the compound effect is something that if you read books on finance or building wealth, it's very strong. In other words, whatever money you make from it, you keep putting that back into it to build more and build more. The cons are the maximum long-term return is around 7%, and that is for shares. For bonds, cash, it's less. For cryptocurrencies, God, who knows? So yes, again, it is unlikely, unless you have $5 million behind you, that you'll get out of the rat race within 5 to 10 years. Yeah, income potential, as I said, 7% based on the ASX report over a 10-year period. Further resources: Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, and The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pope. They are 3 fantastic books. Okay, number 3, now we start getting onto the more of the entrepreneurial stuff. A little story that I like to share is a story about a couple of guys selling shoes. So these 2 guys, these 2 shoe salesmen, jumped on an aeroplane and went across to Africa. And they both got there, they didn't know each other, they weren't talking to each other, and they got off the plane, and one of them went out and looked around in Africa and thought, oh my God, none of these people are wearing shoes. This is hopeless. What am I going to do? None of these people want shoes. So he jumped straight back on the plane, went to his wife and said, listen, no one there is buying shoes. There's nothing for me, no opportunity. I've come back here to wherever. The second guy went out and jumped out of the plane, of course, went, oh my God, no one's wearing shoes. This is amazing. And saw the opportunity of being able to sell shoes to all these people. And, wife, come over here, we're starting a new business in Africa. And so obviously the moral of the story is that if you change your mindset and you change the way you look at things, then opportunities are in front of you. And that is totally what I have discovered with the world of internet marketing and being able to use technology. Internet marketing, there are many different ways to go about internet marketing. Obviously affiliate marketing, email marketing, e-commerce, pay-per-click, attraction marketing, search engine optimization with your website, social media marketing. What I am doing, I have started Your Life Designed, which is my personal brand. I started posting clips. I'm mainly building it through YouTube. So most of what I'll talk about in this little section, and I'll try to keep this one briefish, even though it's more interesting than the other ones, is my experience with YouTube and kind of what I'm doing and the way I'm going about it. So by posting clips on health and passive income and self-development, with time, my aim is to build a tribe, a following, a support network, a group that know me, I correspond with them, I know what they want, they know they get value out of the content that I put out there. And with time, when you start getting lots of YouTube subscribers, you can make money from YouTube advertising, although only a little bit. You can make money from branding, so someone might pay you to wear a cap or wear their clothes or something like that. Again, I'm not sure how much money you make from that. Affiliate marketing is a big, a great avenue for making money, and it can be very powerful. Also, you come up with your own products or services. You cater to what your following need, and you either find those products and source them, or you come up with them yourself, or whatever. You find a way to cater to the needs of your tribe. How much to get started? You know, I literally started with that same camera, that same tripod, this same microphone. All in all, the outlay is very, very little. So people can get started on a very amateur level very cheaply. Low barrier of entry, you know, anyone can do this around what their passions are. And it's all about just adding value. And that way, in your niche, people will start to find you and you'll start to build a following, and that can then lead into building programs. So that the automation kicks in when you start building your own programs. Cons are, there's a lot of noise today. Because there's such a low barrier of entry, there's a lot of people doing it. So working out how to do it properly and differentiating yourself in a niche is very, very important, and branding yourself correctly, which I am refining at the moment. It's not a clear-cut income path sometimes. For someone getting just started in it, it can seem a bit overwhelming, and it's like any of these options really, or the next three, it's a lot of hard work. At the moment I'm spending at least 5 hours a week on filming a clip, editing the clip, getting it up there, putting the tags on the description, uploading, sharing it around other social media websites. The first steps to get in to this sort of realm, I would recommend self-reflecting, working out who you are, what you're passionate about, because you need to be able to talk with conviction and with passion about whatever you want to talk about, which is why I'm in the health and personal development and creating passive income and time freedom. You know, I'm super passionate about that stuff. Number two is, if you don't have a product or service yet, then put some thought towards what your competition is doing. So don't reinvent the wheel. Try to work out where the market is, where people are already spending money, and create a niche within that. Posting ideas, finding posts with low subscribers. This is obviously YouTube based, but finding posts with low subscribers but high views. So sometimes you'll find a channel with 50,000 subscribers but well over 1 million views. Model that clip, model their thumbnail, model their title, model what they do, add your own personal touch to it. Another thing I haven't said, that building a personal brand is so powerful because we are all individual. You know, we all have our different quirks and idiosyncrasies and facial features and whatever else. So, right, fourth, social marketing. Sometimes you call it social marketing, some people call it network marketing. It is actually pretty simple. I think, yeah, it's basically just the distribution of products or services by word of mouth. That's all it is. It's cutting out all these middlemen processes. It's just a different way of getting products out there. In terms of the products, Business 101, so for anyone who joins a network marketing company, I would recommend to them that they find a company that has unique products that are used up, you know, every day, not once or twice, and people use it for their whole life. You know, the backgrounds of the people who come into the industry, and how, for example, Ian Pritchard was a very successful property developer, had all the money that he needed, and went to this presentation and thought, oh, I feel sorry for this guy, I'll buy one product off him to make him feel better. Anyway, 10 years on, he has a team of over 10,000 consultants and a massive, massive business. So I think it's funny, that transition. Sarah Dunning, she was a dancer, slipped a disc, and didn't have a plan B, and so she got introduced to network marketing. Anyway, the pros are, there's so much choice there. I didn't realize until not so long ago that there's so many different network marketing companies, from companies that give you your gas and power bills to, you know, your nutrition, your skincare, your, oh man, all sorts of different things. There's a very low barrier of entry, which is obviously very appealing. And it's very low risk because of that low barrier of entry, the low financial input to get into it. It's also a business in a box. I think that's one of the most appealing things with it. For anyone wanting to start a business, you know, all the financials, the legals, the research and development, the shipping, the handling, all these things that are a nightmare are taken care of. So there's no simpler way to start a business. It works on that geometric progression leverage, which I'm sure you guys know about. It's introducing a handful of people and helping them grow their business so that it spreads and spreads, and after a certain amount of time, it takes a life of its own and it just grows. Also flexibility, you grow it at your own pace, in your own time, around your other commitments, which is very important for my wife and I, seeing as we've got 2 kids and businesses. And the income potential, I'm sure you guys have heard about the sort of money you can make in a network marketing business, which I found one of the most attractive things. They call it the 4-year career for the person who can really get stuck into it and dedicate time to it, because you can reach the top of your company within, say, 3-4 years. Then again, some people take 10 years, some people take 15 years. The mentality I'm taking with it is, even if it takes me 15 years to get to the top of this company, that will still shave 20 years off my working life. And to me, that's just like, okay, no brainer, I'm in. You know, at the bottom level, it'll pay some bills. At the medium levels, you're talking about a few holidays, starting to replace an income, and then at the top level, you start talking real money. And that is only possible through building a big team. So first steps to get in, due diligence, you know, what products or services do you connect with? Do you find easy to talk about? The compensation plan, is it complicated? Is it appealing? Longevity and security, for anyone joining a company, I would say find one that has been around for 5 to 10 years. And obviously connecting with a consultant who has a big vision and the mentality that your success is more important than theirs. I think that's the most important thing. Right, 5th and final is ebooks. You don't need to be, this blew my mind, you do not have to be a writer or know anything about writing books to become an ebook publisher. My wife has written these 2 books, Sugar Detox and Declutter to Feel Good. I'm currently going through the process of their marketing. It's all done through Amazon KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, this can be, I know that there are people who have escaped the rat race and built full-time incomes out of both ebooks, and sometimes they even connect that with Audible and you know, the whole book world. They build up a business within that. So it's very much has potential to build a business, and it can be done in your own time. So it can be an attractive option. The rough cost, it can be very cheap. At the moment, for each book, it was about $200. The way you write a book without being a writer is you get a ghostwriter to do it. Now, there are companies set up. One of the books she had written in Namibia, I think. The other one was written in America. These people, you basically give them a blurb of what you want, maybe some key points. The more you give them, the better it will be. But they will then go and do the research, and 2 weeks later come back to you with a 10, 20, 50 page...
They do the research?
They'll do the research, yep. You can even say to them, Sugar Detox, write me a book, and they will go and do it. So it's phenomenal. Obviously, some ghostwriters are going to be better than others. It's just like trying to find a VA. You've got to go through a few before you, virtual assistant, I mean by that, before you find someone that's right and that works. So the pros are, there's very low barrier of entry. It's a reasonably simple process. Like anything, there's no free cut lunch with any of this stuff. You want to build money, you want to build wealth, and if you want to build it quickly, you've got to put in time and hours. The cons are, you do need to write a lot of books to make much money from it, that you can, again, get a VA to help you do all those sorts of processes. Income potential, you can replace an income with it. For each book, you'll earn up to 70% royalties. Now, with those first steps to get in, I've got 9 steps there. They are basically the steps that are included in the course that my wife and I did. I won't run through them all, but if you want, I can send you a link to basically his course, which costs about $80, $90 these days.
Are they yours as well? Those meetups?
Yes. Yep. Yep, so I do have some other meetups. Sydney Look Great and Feel Amazing, and in that I talk about morning rituals and nutrition.
That was my last live about morning rituals.
Yeah, which is 3 minutes of changing my physiology. I'm pumping my body up, stretching some muscles, breathing. Then I do 3 minutes of sitting down and thinking gratitude, all the things I'm grateful for. All the, how grateful I am to be alive, how grateful I am to be breathing. No.
Oh no, the best book on gratitude.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Gratitude is just so powerful.
The magic. It's amazing.
The magic. Okay.
Is it from the Miracle Morning?
No, I
Sounds a little bit like this.
I think I got mine from Tony Robbins and 5 blocks of 3 minutes. Gratitude. Then my second one is vision. What I want to see for my life in the next 5 years, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week. Really inspiring myself to think along creating that vision. Love. I love the universe. I have so much love and respect for myself and who I'm becoming. I love my wife, I love my kids, I love all my friends, I love strangers who I haven't met because my best friends were once strangers, all that sort of stuff. And then my last one is 3 minutes of affirmations. Yeah. So I'm a confident, strong, positive, inspired leader that will inspire like-minded leaders to join my business. I have all the time I could possibly need or want to accomplish everything I need and want to accomplish. Those weak points in your psyche, like I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough of this. It's all combating those sorts of thoughts with, positive opposites, basically. Yeah.
Hey, that's very good.
So yeah, check out the Sydney Look Great and Feel Amazing meetup group. Cool. Yeah, I hope you guys got something out of that.